So now that we've, excuse me, now that we have delved into a little bit of the history of the options and the idea of controlling a buying price and selling price, let's get more specific now in terms of the stock and options market in what we call call options and put options. So we talked in the last segment about wanting to control prices. A farmer wants to control the price at which he can sell his corn, but an airline wants to control the price in which they buy jet fuel or oil for jet fuel. And so the same is true with these ideas. Perhaps we start here with this person is bullish on the stock, and this person is bearish on the stock. So maybe this person right here wants to control the price at which he can buy this stock. So he says, I want the choice to buy, we'll just call it XYZ stock for now. XYZ stock. I want the choice to buy it at, let's just say it's $100. So let's just put a graph up here where the stock's at $100. And, I'd like to do that anytime between now and 60 days, 2 months, whatever it is. Okay, it could be anything, 60 days. And so now, this person over here on this side says, okay, I'll make you a promise. I promise to sell XYZ stock Welcome back to the 4 Pillars of Investing. We're in the cash flow pillar where we position ourselves for cash flow. And we've just finished speaking about the idea of controlling your buying price and your selling price. A farmer very much wants to be able to control the price at which he can sell his corn. He really cares about that. A airline very much cares about the price at which they buy jet fuel or oil to make jet fuel. They care about locking those prices. Well, the same is true with stocks. People like the idea of control. Risk is related to control. The more control we have, the less risk we have to deal with when things change. And so in the options market and in the stock and options market, we have 2 types of options. That's it. It's only 2. There's calls and puts. We're going to introduce those ideas today, or in this segment, just very generally, and so we can get a nice, nice gradient in which we learn this, where it's easy to learn. So let's hop in. So let's say this person over here, we'll put him in. Let's put him in green. He's very bullish in the stock. So let's say that the stock is here. We'll make a stock graph. And let's say the stock right now is trading at $100. And, he could always buy the stock if he's bullish, right? He could just go out and purchase the stock. And if it goes up, he makes money. If it goes down, he loses money. But he says, you know what? I'd like to control my buying price. I'd like to sit and watch this for a while. Very much like putting something on layaway, perhaps, right? You go to the store and you see a suit or a pair of jeans, and the clerk says, may I help you? And you say, I really like these jeans. How much are they? Well, they're $100. Well, you could buy them right there. Or you can say, will you hold these for me for a while? I know they're on sale, but God, would you give me just a couple days? Maybe you're not getting your paycheck yet, or maybe you just want to think about it for a while, but you certainly want to keep your options open, right? You still want the choice or the power or the right to be able to buy those jeans, even if you don't buy them today. Well, this is very much the same idea. So let's call this stock XYZ, just for the sake of calling it something. So here's stock XYZ. It's $100. We say, I'm very bullish on it. I think it's going to go up. However, I don't want to fork out the $100 today. So you go to someone who thinks it's going down, and he says, yeah, I'll do this all the time. I think it's going down. So you say, okay, I want the choice, right? I want the choice. Now, what's another word for choice, which starts with an O? I want the choice to, this is important, put this in green, I want the choice to buy XYZ stock at $100. And this option could last, this choice could be a week, it could be a month, it could be 6 months, but for our purposes here, we're just really going to lock in on a very simple idea that this person thinks the stock is going up. It's $100 a share. And he says, I'm not going to buy the stock today, but I want to be able to do it. I want to maintain my choice, and I want to lock in that price. I want the choice to buy it at 100, not 2 or 3 or 105. I want to be able to lock in this price at 100, and I want to do that for maybe 2 months or so, something like that. Well, this guy doesn't think it's going up, so he says, I'll tell you what, I will give you my, watch, promise to, this is important, sell XYZ to you at $100, right? $100. So this is a match made in heaven. You know, this guy wants to buy it. This guy wants to sell it. And maybe he owns the stock, right? Maybe he doesn't, but let's pretend he does. He says, look, if this thing, if you want to buy this at 100, fantastic. Now he's not going to do this for free. And so we're going to do a little video later where they're going to send some cash. This guy's going to send some cash his way called a premium. And we'll do a whole video on, how much does he have to pay, whatever it might be. And on a stock like this, it might be for 2 months, like $5. So we'll use that for an example, $5. Well, that's quite a difference, because if you pay $100, your risk is now $100. But now you can control that stock and you can buy it anytime you want, but it's only risking $5 now. And so 2 things can happen. It could go up, let's say to 110, or it could go down, let's say to 95. Well, if it went down to 95, you'd lose the $5 anyway. And if it went down to 90, you'd lose $10, right? If it went down to 80, you'd lose 20. So if it goes down, then you simply say, well, I'm not obligated to buy it from you. I just wanted the choice. You're certainly obligated because you promised to sell it to me, but I've got the choice. So what else is nice is, let's say it goes up. Let's say it goes up to 110. That's kind of cool, because if you'd have bought the stock at 100 and sell it at 110, you make 10%. But you know what? If you can now buy it at 100, 2 months from now, but it's worth 110, you now can buy it at 100, even though it's being sold at 110. You'd make an instant $10, because while everyone is willing to pay this, you're only paying this, and now it's worth 110. So you get an instant $10. Well, my gosh, that's a great return on a $5 investment, isn't it? To have an instant $10. Whereas if you spent $100 to find out what was going to happen, that wouldn't be as attractive. So it's a complex idea for me anyway. It took me a while to wrap my head around this, but you can wrap your head around it. So if you have to review this, pause it, rewind, think it through. Just really understand that when that stock was trading at 100, you had several things you could do. You could buy it at $100 and wait and see if it went up, or you could say, let's put this on layaway. Let's put this on hold. I'll pay this guy $5 to lock in that price for me, 100. Now, if it goes up, even though it's selling up here, you can buy it at your $100 price. So that's cool. So that's called a call option. When this person has the choice, right? When he pays this $5, this premium, or whatever it is, when he pays that money, he now has the choice to buy, right? And this person has made a promise to sell at an agreed price. In this case, it was at $100, right? At $100, and that's a match made in heaven. So that's called a call option. That's what it is. A call option is when the person that buys the option wants the choice to buy the stock. The person that wants the option, he wants the choice to buy the stock. He thinks it's going up. So remember, call up someone on the phone. Call up. It's a bullish move. The person that is going to pay for this option, he's calling up, right? Call up helps you remember that he wants the choice to buy because he thinks it's going to go up. Now, let's look at the other half. Let's say it's flipped. And let's say this person says, you know what? Maybe he owns the stock. Maybe he's already got the stock and it's trading $100 and he's fearful it will go down. Well, now he wants the choice. Says, I would like the choice, obviously, to sell. So let's put that here. And, I want the choice to sell my stock at, this XYZ stock at $100. And the reason he wants the choice is, what if this goes down to 99 and 98 and, 95 and 85? Well, now he's stuck with it. But here he says, if I could pay just a small premium, like $5, maybe it's having earnings and he thinks it'll go down to 80. He says, I'll buy myself a little insurance here. I'll buy a little $5 contract that gives me the choice to sell at 100, even if the stock goes down to zero, really, anywhere it could go. So that's a nice insurance policy. Of course, this person's going to make a promise to buy it from him. And he's going to promise, or she is going to buy it at that $100 price, or whatever they agree to. This might last 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, whatever the agreement is. And that's a nice feeling. Well, think about this. If this person owns this stock and it goes down to $80, let's say, well, that'd be a $20 loss in the stock, wouldn't it? Well, guess what? Now it's only a $5 loss. Because why? Even though it's down here at 80, this guy promised to give him how much for it? $100. And so now he's only lost the $5 for the agreement rather than the $8. That's what Mark Cuban did on Yahoo. That's why he remained so rich when Yahoo fell. He had the right to sell it high in case it was low. So that's called a put option, right? This one would be a put option. So again, if we have the choice, in this case, to sell something, right? To sell, and this person makes a promise to buy, let's put that in green, to buy, you have what is called a put option. That's a put option. So again, if you have to rewind that, we remember how we were calling up on the phone. Well, now you're going to put the phone down after you're done. So call up, put down. Pretty easy. Call up, put down. The person that is buying the option is sending this premium to the other person. So they have this choice. If he wants to sell it, it's a put. If he wants to buy it, it's a call. Pretty simple. So an option contract is just an agreement that gives the person who owns the contract the right to trade the shares at a set price. And if it's a buy, well, they call it a call option. If it's a sell, we call it a put option. Now, what is the risk when you buy an option? This is kind of fun to think about. Is if you are going to have a stock, okay, so let's look at the stock. If the stock was at $100, right, and it went down to zero, you would lose $100. If you buy stock, right, at $100, that's the risk. So here the risk is risk equals $100 if it went bankrupt. But watch this. What if you bought a call option, right? Buy the call option, and the stock is at $100. And what that means is you have a choice, right? Choice to buy. Now, buying and having the choice to buy are very different things. So let's pause here. Let's think about that for a minute. When you walk into a store and something's on sale, you haven't bought it yet, but you have the choice to. we only actually take lots of risk when we actually buy it. As long as it's just a choice, we're just standing there. Well, let's say this person hands over $5 here for this choice to buy. So this guy right here is out, he's out $5. Well, now let's say during that time, the stock does go to zero. Well, his risk, his maximum risk, is going to be that $5. Why? Well, the stock went to zero. Well, he doesn't have to buy it. It's his choice. And he simply says, you know what? Thanks for holding that stock for me, and thanks for promising to sell it to me at $100. But you know what? Since it's not worth anything, I really don't want to pay $100 for it. So thank you much. And so you're out the $5 that you spent for the contract. So another way to say this is maximum risk when you own an option. It's very much different when you sell one, but when you buy an option, very much different when you sell one. But when you buy an option, your maximum risk, this is something to remember, equals the premium you paid for the option, not the stock. Premium, maximum premium. Maximum risk is premium paid. That's it. And so this gets attractive for a lot of people because they think, well, my gosh, I'm not ever going to buy stock anymore. I'm just going to buy options and have the right to buy it. And if it goes down, I'll walk away. If it goes up, I'm cooking with gas or I'm in business. Well, it's not quite that simple, but it is an interesting concept, and it's a fun one to be able to put things on layaway if you want. Now, there's much more we'll use these options for. Much more. We'll use them to hedge risk. We use them opportunistically. But this is, again, just the basics, right? This is just the basics of what an option is. And, in the UK, there's a little bit more leverage than my home country, the United States. But here's what's really fun. A single option contract controls 100 shares of stock. Okay, a single option contract means 100 shares of stock. It'd be kind of silly for me to say, yeah, I'll take one share. I'll put one share on layaway. Just lock me down one share. Put Andy down for one, please. One, please. No, it's going to be in lots of 100. So let's get more specific. A call option is simply an agreement or a handshake or a contract or a deal where we make a deal. We say, look, here's an agreement that gives the owner of the contract. You can see this guy is going to be the owner right here. He's purchasing it. He's given money for this contract. He says, look, I'll give you the right to buy 100 shares of stock at a set price. So one single call option contract, right? One call option contract gives the right to buy 100 shares. And that's where that leverage comes from. Now, that's an interesting thing because we've talked a lot in this particular pillar about leverage, didn't we? We could leverage people, we could leverage technology, we could leverage debt. Well, we spoke about leveraging a contract. Notice there's no debt here. He's paying him a premium. That's what that money's called. And this guy over here is making a promise. Just like it, picture this as if it was an insurance deal, where this guy over here on the right was promising to fix his car if it wrecked. And this guy's offering an insurance contract. And this guy's paying a premium for it. Very much the same. The only difference is this has nothing to do with the car this time. It says, look, I want the choice or the right. Another word for choice that starts with an R is a right. Or another word for choice that starts with an O is an option, right? It's just all the same. Option, choice, right, power, whatever. I have the power or the choice, the right to buy 100 shares of stock from this guy through this contract. So it's just 100 shares at a time. Of course, the put is just the opposite. Here he's got the choice. We'll just write down choice again. Right here, he's got the choice to what? To sell. How many? 100 shares. Why? Because there's 100 shares per contract. So if you can get the concept of putting something on layaway, hold this for me for a while at this price, or hold this. I want to sell it here. Okay, I want to make sure that I can sell it to you at this price, or you can say I want to make sure I can buy it from you at this price. Simply controls that, and a put option is an agreement that gives this person who has the contract the right to sell his shares of stock at a set price. And this stuff gets pretty exciting. We're going to keep it pretty basic here in this short first lesson on puts and calls. But here's some good news. So only 4 option trades you can make. Only 4. You're either going to be someone who buys a call, which means you would have a choice, right? A choice. Or you're going to be the seller, which means you're getting paid to make a promise to someone else, right? You can be the person that says, yeah, hand me a premium. I'll promise to sell it to you. Here, if you buy, you're always going to have a choice. There's a buyer of an option. And this gives you the choice to purchase stock. Buying a put gives you the choice to sell at a set price. If you offer someone a put, you're going to make them a promise. Okay, and don't worry too much about understanding everything. Remember, in the 4 pillars, we want to keep it simple. And if someone has one little thing they understand, there's no reason to panic about that. Hit the stop button, hit the rewind button, go through until it clicks. Repetition, mother of learning. It's no problem, no problem. When we come back, we're going to begin to speak about that money that changes hands, right? This idea right here, he's paying some money for this promise. Another word for contract is promise, isn't it? Or agreement, right? Promise or agreement. And so here, this person's receiving cash called a premium in exchange for his promise. It's just like insurance, right? You pay a premium because they've given you some type of promise. Hey, I'm scared my house will burn down. Well, give me a premium and I'll promise to fix it if it does. Hey, I'm really scared that I might die. Well, good. Pay me a premium. I promise to pay your spouse when you die. Hey, I'm scared. What if I get in an automobile accident? Well, fine. Give me a premium and I'll make you a promise to fix your car. Well, it's the same thing here. Well, I'm scared my stock will go down. I really want to be able to sell it at this high price today in case it goes down. Okay, great. Pay me a premium and I'll give you a promise that I'll buy it from you. You sell it to me. I'll pay high price for it. Or someone says, I'm really scared this stock will go up high without me. I'm not worried, not be able to buy it today, but boy, I sure like this $100 price in case it goes to $200. Okay, great. If you think that's going to happen, pay me a premium. I'll make you a promise that lets you do that. So that's what a premium is, right? That's what a premium is. When we come back, we're going to delve into how to pay or how to earn this premium.